Hello everyone and welcome back to Off the Lad 2. Oh, it's been a journey, but it seems we are getting things wrapped up. Bill says we're getting close to the end, and a lot of the villains we know are dead, and, well, new ones replace them. But we have our side story with our overpowered summon from the first game. She has a bigger role this time, and so we move on. Hey Speedy, how you doing? So, last time we found out a lot more about her past, and now we're gonna see whether we can continue that, because the story seems to be directed towards the Forbidden Ruins, which is where we originally found her back in Off the Lad 1. Now we checked out the first floor back when we first came back to this region. Actually, what happens when we go here? We tried going here inside the past when Orc was in the past. Bill was saying something about the shapeshifter guy. Odin was supposed to join us here, but I seriously do not remember that at all. Like, I'm wondering if, like, somehow I skipped him and the game just added him to my party during that one scene. I don't know. Oh, no new scene or anything. Anyway, though. Let's go see what happens when we enter the Forbidden Ruins. Boring? That was my day yesterday. Work was very boring yesterday for me. It was slow as molasses. So let's see what happens. This way, come here. This is a shortcut. Oh. Well, fuck. I wish I knew about that in the first game. That would have been nice. You know, wouldn't it be... Oh, what the hell? Wouldn't it be hilarious if that actually was in the first game somehow, and, like, you could have found it? This is a fun shortcut. Yay! Actually, wait. This isn't a fun shortcut. We're free-falling a whole bunch of floors. And if this takes us to the 50th floor, like Bill was hinting, this is going to be a painful landing. It's a fun shortcut. Here comes the exit. Yeah, it took us to the 50th floor. Interesting, it even remembers the chests being opened. That's interesting to know. So, do I need to interact with the phone? Okay. Well, that's nice. That it would have been awful to have to go through all fucking 50 floors again. So, just to give you some context, Speedy, if you're not familiar with this game. So, similar to Sukin and Off the Lad 1, 2, and 3 let you transfer data. And you could come here in the first game and get this little character here, to join you. But you had to go down 50 floors full of enemies. Every single floor had enemies and chests. So if you also wanted the chests, you know, you had to get those too. And the shitty thing is there's no saving or anything in between those. And you have to also go back up through those 50 floors as well. So, quite horrible. Hey, Dan. So, let's see what's, I guess, on the 50th first floor, then. Select your party members. Ooh, there's treasure down here. I mean, I guess it would make sense to use her for this part. I mean, this is her side story. Interestingly different music, too, actually. Oh, it had to change it? Like, that was actually a different song for once. Also, these are regular slimes. They're also level 50. We're gonna mop the fucking floor with these things. What's up? Not much. You know, actually, if supposedly you couldn't do this quest until after the tower, why in the fuck are the enemies here level 50? Why is the strongest killer in this game a fucking little girl? Somebody must have really thought that was funny. But it's our favorite place in all of Octolad, the Forbidden Ruins. Hey, feminism back then wasn't toxic like it is nowadays. Nowadays, like, everything's toxic. Everything has to be toxic. And you gotta point it all out. How much damage he does just with his stat here. Not really any point in needing to use any magic right now. Why am I toxic? Hey, you know, Phil's been getting himself into a lot of drama ever since that podcast thing with Stuttering Quig. You know, to be honest, I kind of felt bad for him a little bit for a few of the topics. Like, you know, one thing, like, in that whole thing I can actually agree with is, like, I can understand why he wouldn't want to work with Keemstar. Like, everyone thought, it should have stayed on this song. This song's actually pretty nice. Well, I mean, I'm not saying that ain't true. I mean, that is true. But I just mean, like, people will take, like, Phil could literally say the most blessed thing in the world and people would find a way to twist it. Like, he can't even have an actual point. Even when he does, is what I'm saying. Like I probably wouldn't want to work with Keemstar either, to be honest. I mean, it's surprising that he wouldn't because of the money, but you know, if I can actually respect someone a little bit to not want to shill out for some obvious payout. Like, I mean, I can give a little respect and 2 cents on that. It's probably not for that, though. It's probably, to be fair from his point of view, it's probably more about not being made a fool of, because ultimately that's probably what would happen. Or Slicer? Oh yeah, don't get me wrong. The irony there isn't he's not much better himself. Don't get me wrong on that either. Phil is not a good boy. He's supposedly trying to make himself look like a better boy these days, but he's not a good boy either. He has a lot of ailments in his closet too. It's kind of not like a useful sword, honestly. It's just, you know, on the way, like, what I'm saying is, there's the rare time where Phil has an actual good point on something, and people will just find some way to still make it horrific somehow. And it honestly gets annoying sometimes. I'm not saying that magically makes him a good person or anything, it's just... It kind of shows how sometimes, wow, I haven't seen an enemy throw something in ages. It just makes some people look so desperate to literally twist anything into evil. But yeah, like the whole mobile app thing though, like, that was actually an opportunity for him to actually turn that around, and he didn't take it. So you see, like, one of the things, though, I would like to say is Stuttering Quig's not, like, magically pure hard either. Like, have you checked out what he's been doing ever since that podcast? Like, they canceled. So originally, apparently, they were gonna live stream something else, but instead, because the whole interview thing with Phil went so well, they decided to talk more about Phil without Phil. Now, obviously, they have the right to do that, but it kind of shows a little bit of, you know, maybe they're trying to milk this. Like, honestly, I don't know about necessarily conform. Phil is a dummy, but, I mean, it's very likely. Like, it's like 99% likely his, but, I mean, I'll be fair. I mean, they're all shitty people who have done things to him unfairly. There have been, like I said, I'm not saying Phil is a pure good boy. But there are people who have purposely tried to do things to Phil. I mean, look at the whole Sons of Kojima thing. Like, that went from being the most popular, quote-unquote, detractor content to being a fucking clown show. Oh, they didn't, though. They got 2 other people that I think are going to be common on their podcast, I think. And they just went downtown talking about the interview. Now, Phil did a reaction to that, and, like, he obviously went the whole, oh, not true, and they didn't give me a fair shake or anything and that, and, I mean, I think they gave him a fair shake in the interview, but yeah, they whipped on him hard in that video after. And then they broke it up into a ton of little clips, and we uploaded those on top of the live stream. Honestly, like, I think that makes Stuttering Quig look kind of bad, honestly. Because it really feels like they're just milking the living shit out of the whole thing to me. I'll give that to Phil on that. I do actually look a little less on Stuttering Quig for that. But yeah, Phil's not a good boy here. He's certainly done horrible shit. I mean, he gets so much fucking money, and yeah, he keeps constantly saying he's poor. Like, what the fuck are you doing with all this money? Oh yeah, there has. Like, he had the whole thing with his wife right now. I admit, like, that whole thing was a shit show, where they were trying to say that, the escort, that he was seeing an escort. Now, to be fair, there was some evidence pointing towards that, but whether it was a troll or some escort service thing trying to hack money off of people, that part I don't think ever got cleared up. But yeah, clearly somebody snuck in there with that whole thing. But still, it just, I don't know, like, afterward, they just did a crap ton of Phil videos. And it just seemed weird, especially since they hyped up the whole thing with the Angry Video Game Nerd interview, and there's someone else they were gonna interview. And then it's just all, like, for like a whole week becomes shitloads of Phil content. I don't know. I mean, to me, it kind of takes a little of the professionalism out. Because, I mean, like, there's a bazillion detractor places that do shit. And obviously, they're gonna use clips from it. So, a whale, no. Look, I will give anyone their fair 2 cents. Even Phil. Even anyone like... I will give people their 2 cents. Formed whale. If I'm a whale for anyone, it's probably limited 1 games. Fuck. Dude. They're too expensive now. I'm getting to the point where I'm legit going to start scaling back on... Because I used to, like, buy, like, every game for limited 1. Now I'm buying more, like... Merely still most of them, but... I've skipped down a few, and it's becoming more and more like I need a will, because last month, like, dude, I spent $600 last month buying the fucking shit. Like, fuck. It's too much. I mean, I know I have expendable money to buy some of this shit, but I mean, like, if somebody with expendable money who buys a lot of games is having too much fucking time keeping up with this shit, like, just imagine what the average consumer is fucking having problems with. The only, like, you have to do heinous crimes for me to not want to give you a fair shake. I mean, we're talking about, like, Adolf Hitler level of things. Mortal killing, you know, you have to do really horrible things for me to not give you a fair shake. Phil is a very scummy person who gets shitloads of free money, and he clearly takes advantage of that. I mean, the dude's always constantly going on about, like, look, you know, I had my surgery and shit. Yeah, doctors aren't cheap and shit. But, you know, like, I actually got, so a lady told me from the hospital when I had a problem with, like, okay, I think I need to give some context on this, so. Okay, so, when I had all my doctor shit going on, I asked how I can pay for this, and I asked if I could, like, give $100 a month. They said I could do that, so that's what I started doing after my surgery. I started doing, after I recovered from my surgery, I started giving $100 a month. Then, when was it? Was it early January? I got a letter from a collection agency, and I was like, wait, I'm confused. I did exactly what I was told I could do. So I went to the hospital, and the people there were completely unhelpful and told me I needed to call someone. Yeah, $400 for a board game is too much for me too. There's also two different types of trolls, to be fair, too. You have haha trolling and bad miscellaneous trolling. But, basically, I had to call this number about it, and I explained that. They were very nice and helpful. They got all that taken care of, got it all back in my hospital balance, and told me to fill out this paper for financial help. And I was like, wouldn't I disqualify for that? Because I have health insurance. They said, no, it's based on how much income your house makes. So they said, like, if you're the only major income in the house, you probably would get something. So I filled that out. And good lord, I'm so glad that lady told me about that. Because that made things way better. I still have a bill. Don't get me wrong. I still have a hospital bill. But it is so much better now. It's so much better now. And that, like, makes me wonder about Phil's situations with hospital. Because, you know, he's, like, the major person making the bread. But the problem is he's making too much of it to qualify for something like that, ironically. Yeah, I view most trolling as haha things. But there are trolls who are malicious. And that's the sad thing. Like, here's the thing, like, I'd say the negative detractors, as in, like, the detractors that are hoarding detractors' image, started with Sons of Kojima's fall. Like, that's when detractors started getting found out and shit for doing shady shit in the background and stuff. And, you know, I don't, like, look, like, calling Phil a hypocrite and shit, that's fine. Like, I mean, he is a hypocrite. Like, he's still in denial about ever saying about that, that he said anything about doing, well, I can't say it myself. You know what I'm talking about. The click, you know? I know. You know what I'm talking about. You know, he asked people to do that, you know. And that's what got him into a lot of his situation. No. Personally, what I think was the scummiest thing Phil got involved in was, the whole, no, I can't. I can't, for obvious reasons. I'm not stupid. But, I mean, like, you can literally find clips of him doing all the shit and stuff, you know, it's nothing shocking or anything, like, that's the thing that makes Phil look so hypocritical a lot of times. He denies shit that those little clips for. If it wasn't for that, like, some people would probably believe him a lot more. But no, he just has little clips where he just denies them. But how it selects who to go. Oh no. Oh, I just. Shit. I gotta redo that fight, because, yeah, you have to get that going the fight. I'm a stupid dummy. I did not think of that. We need to give everyone a kill anyway, so it works out. That didn't even cross my mind. But yeah, it's very rare that I find something to agree with Phil on, to be fair, but I mean, I know there's a handful of times where, like, fair point, and everyone still, like, twists it somehow to be pure evil. Yeah, it should be on PS4 and Switch. Don't know about Xbox. But, yeah, I believe it's supposed to have every single game, including the DS games, if I remember correctly. It's kind of weird that, you know, these Mega Man collections have the, DS entries. It's nice for people who don't have a DS, and they want, you know, the complete, package and that. But it's also weird. Like, playing a DS game on the PS4, that's very bizarro. Very bizarre. I don't know how many Battle Network games are. I only have a small handful of them. I believe I have the GBA ones and one of the DS games. I never really got into them. Like, honestly, like, once you get into the fucking dungeon, like the ones I tried, they just look all the fucking same. I get lost like fuck. I'm just like, well, nothing looks different. It's just a giant fucking hell maze. Man, she is getting surrounded down now. Not as much, no effect evil, so it's kind of a myth. And hopefully it's not like almost $100 too. Final Fantasy Pixels. We messed with. Like, to me, it's like I find the pricing on the Pixel Remasters so awful, honestly. It's like, I get though a bunch of JRPGs. You're definitely going to get your time's worth and shit. But, like, it's so, like, tell me one other collection you can think of a bunch of games that's like $80 to $100. Because, like, honestly, like, I'm not necessarily saying there isn't one, but it's definitely not a common practice. Like, you know, most collections of old games are usually, like, between, like, $40 to $60, usually. Like, they don't usually charge more. Like, that just seems so ridiculous to me. Man, there's so many freaking robots in here. Like, to me, the Pixel remasters are just so overpriced. And I get, like, they actually made those. They won't, like, just slap them ports. I mean, I get that to a certain extent. But, like, you know, like, if you've heard the whole debate on whether it's good or ugly looking, like, I think it's pretty obvious which side I am on that, because, like, I just don't like how they look. Like, the NES ones didn't suffer as much, but the SNES ones, to me, are awful looking. They lost all the nice detail shading they had. Hey, right back at you, buddy. Him. He's most injured. Count up for at least 10. God damn it, of course you didn't have to get 10. Of course. And of course. But yeah, you know, like the whole thing with Phil right now, it's all about that whole interview thing and that. Like, that's like the whole drama right now and the quote-unquote money he could've got from Keem and crap. Like, honestly, like, I don't know how so many people are still following Phil. Like, before I watched that interview with him, like, I had not, like, heard anything from, like, about Phil for, like, ages. Like, he's, like, I really don't get the attraction to him at this point. Like, the point in laughing is pretty much done. He's, like, aside from him trying to do, like, an actual crime, like, what more is there really to give a shit about? Like, he's a con artist, he's getting shitloads of money that he's doing something with. Like, that's the thing, like, I can't imagine how he's wasting so much money, though. Like, to me, that's the thing I find really mind-boggling. Huh. Statues. Let's let them keep closer to me. Now use the opportunity to top everyone off. There. You can do it on whole itself. This is pretty much easy fodder here. They all play nicely, but still I wouldn't be able to get like all of them. Oh Dan, you know I got a pretty good deal on some games yesterday at Walmart, by the way. The Walmart up in the town where I work, they had 3 copies of Resident Evil 8 for $8. Traded them in. Well, I'm actually keeping one for a friend. Worked out a deal with him. He's gonna pay $12 for it. The other 2 copies I traded in, kept the cases. What's weird though is the PS5 versions, and they have codes for Resident Evil Weverse for the PS4 in them, which is kind of weird. But hey, it's like I get a free digital game on top of it. I haven't asked my friend if he wants to keep his. I gave one to one of my friends in VR chat. I'll claim the other one might play it for some lulz, but it's been out for a while. I think I don't know if people will even playing it anymore. Like, I know for good. Like, do you know what Weverse is? Like, I had kept hearing about Weverse over and over again when anyone brings up Resident Evil 8, but I have yet to see anyone I know, even Alpha Omega, like fucking talk about it. Now, to be fair, I haven't watched like his newer videos in a while. Actually, I've been needing to catch up on those. But like, I don't know anyone who's actually legit talked about Weverse since it was first like announced. And like one day I'm like, you know, I have still yet to ever see what the fuck Weverse even is. So I actually YouTubed it to find someone who actually did something on it. It's like a weird PvP multiplayer game where like you pick a Resident Evil character and you pick a Resident Evil bio mutant character, and like when you die you get like a second chance as the bio mutant creature. Like, it's weird. Heals opposite sex each turn. What? So what if I like equipped it? Like, what would be the opposite sex of a robot then? Oh wait, but he can equip it though. So, oh well. Uh-oh, we got pinkish purpley slimes. And this is still low level though. Way low level. At least it's nice to actually have things that can hit them. Wait, suicide? No! Well, I guess that does just get rid of it. Yeah, I get money still. Probably don't get EXP though. Yeah, I guess I might as well just grab it. Dirty old man full of green dust. second I was like, what is he doing? Can't reach him. Yeah, you bum. Treasure on foot. Honestly, I don't even really have to do these fights. So I could just get the chest and just fucking one foot. What is that slime doing? Of course it stands on the exit. Wide one. I need that. File? Shouldn't do enough damage. Worked fine for me. So how's your day today, Dan? What are you up to? Hopefully you're not having any more problems with hooligans setting fires. Yeah, might as well just fucking kill him. Well, that's always good, of course. Oh no, it's committing suicide. Would have been nice to have yesterday off. Whoa, she's going the wrong way. Oh well. As long as we stay away from overtime while I walk, I'm fine. We had a number of 3-day weeks, so it wasn't bad. Okay, that one we need to get before battle ends. Oh, good. Yeah, it's easy to skip for. I ain't getting that. Okay. Yeah, I could kind of anticlimactic to skip scene it. Supernova's just a little bit bigger. I'm gonna do it. That's two now. Yeah. Collections. I would have been interested in the Pixel Remaster collection if it wasn't for the price. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not paying $80+, $80, $90 for something I fucking already own in multiple different forms. See, that's such a horrible move there, because you can't actually legit jump there. I mean, like, pretty much the only remaster that even is interesting for America is 3, because we never got anything. Oh, so, Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster is Final Fantasy 1 through 6, and it's like $80, $90. It's like ludicrous. That's what I was saying. Like, can you tell me a collection of old games that's like that fucking much? Like, that seems crazy. Like, the only other thing I can think of is those Nintendo Switch RTL games. And that's only because they're really large and they have to use the expensive Switch cartridges. Those have a bit of a reason. I don't necessarily agree with it, but hey, they're JRPGs that I haven't played, so in that sense, like, I can understand, but it's just the Final Fantasy 1, 2, 4, and 6, and 5 all have pretty wettable multiple versions. 3 is like the only one that doesn't have a dozen of a collection of old games. But fuck, if somebody put Little Samsons on a fucking modern console for $80, people probably would actually buy it just because it's such a steep discount. They would probably be saying like, well, it pays for the licensing fee. Pays for the licensing fee. Okay, another one we have to get before the battle ends. But yeah, a collection, you know, when you see like the Street Fighter collection or the Neo Geo Arcade collection or, you know, other things that are a collection of multiple titles. Like, is there any you can think of? Because the only ones I can are the Ultier ones that are the the Asian releases that have 3 games, like those ones are pricey. And those are PS3 games. But they have everything on their cartridges, meaning they used the expensive big old cartridges. So those ones I can understand the reason, but the Pixel remasters are definitely not making use of the Switch cartridge, I'm sure. Again. Dodge, dodge. Can't get on the side. Fuck. Never get him in the right position to fucking do anything. Dodge this. Being kind of blocky. The Ohio in the 50s. Yeah. Stay all bunched up like that. But yeah, like, to me it just seems like such an overpriced collection to me. I get they remade the games, but like, I don't know, like, I hate how they look. I know that's an opinion and subjective, and they look so much better than the mobile versions. That I give them. Like, at least you can see what they're based on better. But it just feels so less detailed and lifeless to me, especially with the SNES ones. It's so less detailed. And there's of course the whole thing with the limited physical release. I don't know if you saw that shit show. Like, they released it on the Square Enix store, limited print, and it like got sold out real fast. Like, it's such a joke. I don't know why a lot of companies have to do actual limited and not like just a pre-order. Like a limited pre-order, like you have 1 month to pre-order and then print those amounts. I mean, they could, like, you can make an argument for smaller games, fair. But come on, Final Fantasy 1 through 6, you don't think there was going to be more potential on more sales than the amount of copies of whatever? Like, we don't even know how many copies they put up. And the fact they sold out so fast and there's so many people wanting a fucking copy, it just seems really fucking stupid to me. But yeah, I'm not buying it for that much. Maybe if the Asian Switch release gets a bit of a discount maybe down the road, maybe I might get it. Because I would be kind of interested in Final Fantasy 3 a little. Because like I said, that's probably the only one that's really offering much, is the original, a more original experience of 3. Because, you know, the DS 3 was more of a well, you know, 3 would, they both reimagined and remade it. Like, it's not like it's an unfaithful game, but they also changed the story and balance and things, so... But it's definitely a more faithful game than Final Fantasy VII Remake is. That's just, you know, a completely different game, basically. What? I guess it's a really effective bomb. But yeah. Yeah, probably actually should stick around and get a heal actually. I actually had a long discussion with a coworker about Final Fantasy VII Remake actually recently. I was like, you know, it's like, you know, a lot of people for years and years wanted to actually see a remake of Final Fantasy VII. And it's so frustrating that there's a mobile game of Final Fantasy VII that includes multiple other Final Fantasy Final Fantasy VII spin-offs. It's supposed to have the cell phone game, Georgia Cerberus and stuff, all put in it as a JRPG. And it's way more faithful to fucking Final Fantasy VII than the remake. It's so fucking sad. There's a fucking mobile game that's a more faithful... I can't remember what it's called. But it's supposed to have, like, most of the spin-off storylines on top of Final Fantasy VII, and it's a turn-based JRPG. Like, I saw it, I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm so sad. A fucking mobile game is a more faithful fucking game than this. And don't get me wrong, like I said to my friend, like, it's not that the remake is bad, it was advertised falsely. Like, you know, here's a video idea, and I can't obviously get into it because of the other game too much, but I thought about making a video called Final Fantasy VII Remake versus Danganronpa 3, and explain how, because the reason, like, they explained that they wanted all the shit that was in Remake for 7 to be a surprise. That's why it was called a remake. It was supposed to be a surprise. Oh, surprise, guys! It's not just simply Final Fantasy 7. It's a whole new tale. Surprise! And, like, to me, it's just a lot. Like, a horrible, like, when you make your selling point of your game, like, a really terrible line, like, it's like, doing the subversive thing needs to not, like, be a, like, ugh. It's just so, But yeah, and, you know, that's of course ironic because, you know, the whole theme with Danganronpa 3 was lying. Which makes the whole, like, why I want to use it as a comparison of, like, subversing expectations of how they sold the game and stuff. But of course, part of the problem in that comparison is Final Fantasy VII Remake is, well, you know, attached to a previous version of the game, where Danganronpa 3 is an actual sequel. But yeah, I thought about that as a video idea to kind of like better explain like why a lot of people aren't necessarily just against the game, like, that some people found it, like, falsely. It's false advertisement. It was like all this garbage shit about these ghosts and shit. Like, all this stuff was never shown until after the game came out. Because they thought it'd be this tricky subversion thing of expectations. But didn't think about the fact that, you know, you're also fucking taking people's money on a lie. I mean, we knew the gameplay wasn't a turn-based fail. That was always known. So that part ain't a lie. Like, if you went into the game wanting a turn-based game, that wasn't lied about. But, like, the whole story thing was completely fucking false. Hello, how you doing? Welcome. Look. Look. How do you talk about retro games? Nah, just kidding. Goodbye. Take it easy. About to take like a bathroom break anyway here, actually. I've already been fighting through these floors. Bad the hour mark here. Just talking about random crap going on. But yeah, I'm gonna claim that Weevorce code probably after the stream, and maybe download that. Might try a random stream with that for lulz. But from what the limited gameplay I saw of that, I'm probably gonna be really in on whether I'm gonna play as much. Like the whole Mastermind thing that came with Resident Evil 3's remake was at least a better idea. I bet that game's pretty fucking dead by now, though. Which is a shame, because it was a really good idea. They made it where the player base didn't do a whole bunch of stupid rushing. Uh-oh. What we got here? Weapons things I didn't look at. Let's see, Gunfire was another one, 29. Pretty sure that's weaker than all the swords everyone has right now. I don't think any of my monsters are using swords right now. Yeah, Gunfire, no effect, pretty meh. That, what was some of those stuff we got? Mystic card. 18. No, that's also a dud as well. Cape for 15. I don't think that's gonna be good for anyone. No, it's 50. 50. No, crazy. That's good for anyone. But that increases dodging. So. Yeah, I don't see it good on anyone. What about some of the monsters? What the monsters? Like some of the little. Fuck, most of the party members have as option. So yeah, that's pretty much worthless too. Get him. Yeah, I think I just dropped that. I don't think it was for any recipes either. These are for some recipes. I think. Man, this shit, like, I'm confused. Like, I wonder if the story monsters are scaling up. Like, I wonder if it's like Final Fantasy Tactics where they scale up some. Because, I mean, they're like level 80, 90 now. And unless they're doing that, like, it doesn't make sense that you can't do this after the fucking tower. Like, the mobs are fucking 50. Like, it's like that's the only thing that makes sense to me then. Because otherwise, I don't get it. Yeah, that's 18. It's weak. Keep that, just double check on whether it's full recipe. I don't think it is. It's so many of these fucking crystal things now. Dodge. Dodge is a status effect. So what's up with these statues? Yeah, that's a healing point. Another statue. Leaving the dungeon. Oh, wait, what? I thought I hit no. Wait, what? Wait, whoa, no! Fuck! I thought I hit no! No! Fuck! Oh my fucking goodness. Oh, I did a dark side fill, man. I did a dark side fill. Oh, fuck. Oh, did I do a dark side fill? I thought I hit no, but I guess I didn't. Fuck. There was an option to leave the dungeon. Oh, wait, what? Wait, what? It didn't even pop a thing up. What in blazes? But yeah, apparently I accidentally hit yes or something. Okay, can we stop having misnormal button presses here? On the upside, we can obviously skip fights here. We just needed to jump over a bunch of fucking people and shit. We'll get back though. Ah man, that sucks. But it shouldn't take us long. It's just gonna be a little annoying. I legit did all the fights, so I'm gonna definitely want this. Oh, that sucks though. Maybe I accidentally hit the more than I should. How did I accidentally do that? Fuck. Yeah, probably the next bloom from that one probably goes to whatever the side quest thing leads to. See, I was wanting to check it to see if it was a save point. It's nice that you actually put an option to leave the dungeon though. Because I imagine since the shortcut doesn't go the other way, actually, that would mean if you don't use that, you have to climb basically at least 61 floors back up if you don't use that. So yeah, that would kind of suck. So that's actually very nice they put that there. I mean, I imagine when this, like, when Octolad 1 came out, probably lots of people, I imagine, bitched about the whole Forbidden Wounds. I mean, and you can't really blame anyone. That's some pretty ridiculous shit, though. I mean, good lord. I mean, can you imagine if a lot of more games had some shit like that? That's a long time going down a dungeon with no checkpoints or saves or anything. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not the first time for a game to do something like that, but it's always pretty mean when a game does that. Like, if you have an option to at least have some kind of checkpoint or something, it's at least more acceptable. When you gotta do it all in one fucking go, it's not easy. And it's a tactics game of all things. Like, you know, like, you might bring up, like, rogue-style games. You know, usually in a rogue game, you have to do the one in one go, usually. So, to be fair on that front, rogue games are not usually turn-based tactics games. You know, they're usually more action-oriented, or at least some bit more quicker style controls. You're gonna, like, point at, like, Magic Dungeon games, because, I mean, Magic Dungeon games usually have quicker combat. Well, those were more arcade style on the Atari. Now, to be fair, yeah, now the NES age, yeah, NES age had a lot of games that had no saves or passwords. There's a lot of games on the NES that were like that. Now, a lot of those games were usually actually not super long. They were just fucking hard. So, but there are several that are fucking long, though. But a good handful of them, if you're skilled enough, they're actually not super long. They're just unrelentingly hard. But there are titles on the NES that do fit that criteria more. But again, a lot of those games are also like platformers or more action-oriented games, not slow, turn-based tactics games. God damn it, if it wasn't for him, she probably could have actually got in. Man, this sucks so much. I can't believe I accidentally fucking hit yes to leave. Fuck. That was totally a fucking stupid thing. Why is there a part of that gold not lit? The sacrificial lamb. You know, that thing underneath the statue looks kind of like a Nintendo Wii controller, doesn't it? Or am I just insane? This old man actually... I mean, the buttons aren't perfect, obviously. You could also say it's an NES control, possibly, too. I mean, it's certainly not perfect, don't get me wrong. Oh, remember that. Can't believe this. It's moments like that you gotta appreciate the games that do like, are you really sure? Yeah. Damn it, of course not. She's so good. The voice line didn't even fully play, it just fucking skipped it. The fuck? Slime's like, fuck you, lady. We got shit to blow up. I still need to keep getting busy with different things going on. What I need to make on my Discord is like game channels for the co-op stuff. But yeah, I still need to, but I should do that today. Like, just keep getting into different fucking things and that. Yeah, oddly enough, you know, funny speaking, Aaron actually messaged me a few days ago about his brother dropping something off, and I was trying to chat with him, and he hasn't really responded back to the last few things I said after that. God damn it. Get off the fucking staircase. I would want to get Stardew Valley finished first. But yeah, I need to make a section. So what I need to do, I'm gonna try to do this today. I need to make a section for co-op games. Ones we've had, and maybe some future ones. Add the people, the appropriate people involved with those. The Stardew Valley one, I need to announce that, you know... Can you make it? I need to announce that, you know... I'm gonna change it to a, if you want to come, you can come. If you're busy, don't worry about it. And just get back to work on actually doing it. I would like to see about Matt and Pixie joining for Terraria. What was that other game? That weird Soul-style game with guns. We were playing that too. I actually was liking that. I'd like to actually do an actual playthrough of it. Almost back though. Yes, it was. I was actually very impressed how Souls-like it was, but it was a third-person shooting game. It was actually really interesting. It goes to show you how you don't have to just be the 5 millionth medieval Dark Souls style clone to be an interesting Souls-like game. Because, I mean, sadly, that's what a lot of Souls clones are. It's just they keep being in medieval settings. And right now, you're finding a lot of them being Metroidvania-style games. Which, I mean, are nice too, but it's starting to get a bit overpopulated now. Now there's just a whole bunch of Metroidvania-style ones now. But yeah, that was kind of a nice breath of fresh air, because it was just something really... Like, before that game, would you really thought of a... Would you really thought of a Soul-style game as a third-person shooter? Because, yeah, that... I can't say that really crossed my mind before. That was a really, like, oh, interesting. Yeah, I need to see. I'll try to do that today. If I don't get around to doing that, remind me if you can, Dan. Honestly, I've been busy with a lot of personal things that have been going on. I talked a little bit about one of them at the end of my pickups video. It's just it's tough keeping track of everything while doing my own stuff too. Yeah, we're back here. Do not talk to the statue. So yeah, next floor I imagine is gonna be a story scene or something probably.